you. Welcome everyone to the Virtual College Exploration Program for all North and South Carolina students, sponsored by the Carolinas Association of Collegiate Registrars and Admissions Officers and StriveScan. Thank you so much for joining us today. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time, and we do encourage you to ask questions throughout the entire presentation. Your camera and microphone are muted and are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at CACRAO.org, so CACRAO.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, so CACRAO.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters so we can get officially started. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. My name is Andre Hill. I'm going to be serving as the general moderator for our group, and we're going to be talking about schools of the Triad, why students may be interested in joining us in the Triad area. We're going to be talking a lot about these different areas and figuring out, do we have some really good schools in this space that are going to be a good fit for you? So I'm going to be sharing my screen here in a moment, and we're going to be ready to get started. Here we go. So before we get into talking about the individual schools themselves, and I've got a couple of my colleagues here going to be introducing themselves in just a little bit, we wanted to talk about the Piedmont Triad area in general. There are 12 different counties in the central part of North Carolina, so that includes Guilford, Forsyth, Davidson, Randolph, Alamance, and many others. So there's definitely plenty of space for students when they come out this way and trying to figure out, where they want to do, where they want to participate, what type of things they want to get involved with. 1.7 million people is nothing to sneeze at. So definitely is going to be lots of different things to participate in, lots of different people to meet from, really all walks of life and all different parts of the country who've settled here in the Triad area. When you also think about the number of schools that are in the area, when you include your 4-year campuses and your 2-year campuses, you've got 10 different colleges that are in this local area, and that represents over 100,000 students who are in this region.
Yeah, and so we also have around 900,000 jobs in the area, which is, again, nothing to sneeze at, right? And they span a wide range of industries. So we have Wrangler, we've got Volvo trucks, we have Haynes brand and kind of the manufacturing. We also have a lot of healthcare, so Cone Health, Novant, Wake Forest Baptist Hospital Systems. We also have Reynolds America, we have Truist, which is banking, Syngenta is a pharmaceutical company, Honda Jet, and then Texas Pete Hot Sauce is Winston-Salem native, so.
Yes, on top of some more of the important things, obviously the jobs, but some of the attractions and the places that Greensboro and Winston-Salem have to offer. Specifically Old Salem Museums and Gardens in Winston-Salem, the Artivity on the Green that is specifically in Winston-Salem as well, the Stevens Center, which is a renovated silent theater, and then kind of getting into Greensboro, you have the International Civil Rights Center and Museum, the Greensboro Science Center, Carolina Theater, the Stephen Tanger Center for Performing Arts, which was supposed to be finished this fall, obviously pushing a little bit more towards, and then Greensboro Coliseum, which brings a lot of entertainment venues, sporting, both music and performance things. Winston-Salem itself was officially dubbed the City of Arts and Innovation 2014. You have an array of museums and art galleries that are specifically in Winston-Salem, some the Rinaldi House and Museum of American Art. And then going into Greensboro and Winston-Salem's downtown areas, you have a plethora of shopping, food and entertainment that both cities have to offer, on top of food trucks and areas where the sections of the city will actually shut down to be able to bring in some bigger scenes. But obviously right now due to COVID, a little different, but still a lot of awesome options, both being 18 and then obviously when you get to 21 for entertainment when you are downtown.
All right, so the Piedmont Triad consists of Winston-Salem, High Point, and Greensboro. It is a fast-growing area and very unique. It is about 90 minutes away from our capital, Raleigh, and 90 minutes away from Charlotte. If you're looking to go to the beach, that is about 3 hours away, as well as the mountains. We also have our Civil Rights Museum that features the Woolworth lunch counter from the sit-in. Also, we have Innovation Quarters, and an Innovation Quarters that features biomedical research labs. There's also yoga on the lawn, some really great jazz concerts you can catch, and also food truck rodeos. There's sports teams as well. So in Winston-Salem, there is the Winston-Salem Dash team, and that is at the BB&T Stadium. In High Point, there's a fairly new team called the High Point Rockers. And in Greensboro, North Carolina, there is the Greensboro Grasshoppers. And there's also a G League called the Greensboro Swarm. So downtown is a really nice, quaint area with lots of shopping and things to do. Also in Winston-Salem, there is the Bowman NASCAR Stadium, so people can go there. And there's also the museum. And if you're looking to catch a show, there is the Tanger Center for Performing Arts.
Thank you, Kaylin. All right, so let's get into talking about these schools. So I've already introduced myself, and again, my colleagues are going to get a chance to introduce themselves as well. So again, my name is Andre Hill. I'm the Associate Director of Transfer Recruitment for UNC Greensboro, located in Greensboro, North Carolina. Our campus is located about 5 minutes from the downtown area, so we are definitely integrated into the city, and we feel really proud to have that distinction where the students can really feel connected both to the city itself of Greensboro and to our campus. We are around 20,000 students strong right now, admitting a transfer class each year of around 1,800 new students. So we feel really proud to have a really strong transfer population on our campus, and we consider ourselves to be a pretty transfer-friendly campus overall. We've been designated as a yellow ribbon campus, meaning that we are also military friendly. So we have our Military Services Office and our Veterans Resource Center there to offer any assistance to students who are military affiliated or veterans to make sure that all of your benefits are going to be applied. And then also you're going to have an opportunity to make community with those students as well. We have some transfer-friendly student groups on campus, including our Tau Sigma Honorary Society. We also have the Transfer and Adult Student Union that is there on the campus. And again, that's part of that community piece. So along with the academics, we know that, as an admissions office, we see how you guys have performed on your previous campuses. And typically you're doing really, really great. But also we want to make sure that the social side is addressed when you guys choose to join our campus. So we want to make sure that the Transfer and Adult Student Union is going to be there to talk about the social aspects, what it's like being a new transfer student on campus, but also trying to help you find ways to be connected into the campus as well. Over 125 different majors and concentrations are going to be available. Kind of our top listing and some of our unique programs are listed here for you. So really strong for nursing, for business and education, but also some unique programs with interior architecture or interior design, the consumer apparel and retail studies, which is more of your fashion design and the business that goes along with fashion, kinesiology, and then many of the pre-professional programs that many students are looking for. So pre-medicine, pre-pharmacy, pre-dentistry, et cetera, et cetera. So we feel like we have a lot to offer for students when they are looking at college campuses and trying to figure out which one is going to be the right fit for them. So if all those things sound intriguing and you decide that you're interested, if you have 24 transferable credit hours, that is going to put you in lead to be a traditional transfer student. Our average GPA for students coming in is a 3.0. Our recommended GPA is at least a 2.3. So it gives us a pretty wide band of students that we're going to be working with. So don't feel like if I'm not the top student, that there's not going to be a space for me. There will be. But for our top students, we want to make sure that we are recognizing you all as a part of our honorary society, as a part of scholarships, the honors college. So we want to make sure that there are spaces for every student who is interested to get connected. All of my contact information is listed here at the bottom of the screen. You'll also see it again at the very end of the presentation. So feel free to toss any questions for me or any of my colleagues into the chat as we go forward. We want to make sure we have time to address those for you.
Hi, everyone. My name's Elizabeth Purdy, and I am one of the admissions counselors at Salem College. We are located in Winston-Salem, and you can see actually from this background picture, our campus is pretty close to downtown. We're only about a 15-minute walk away. We are the oldest educational institution for women in the United States. We were founded in 1772, and our campus is actually located within historic Old Salem. So it's really fun when you're walking around and you see people in period costume, in like full-on bonnets and hoop skirts. It's really quite an experience. And so we have two different types of transfer students. Traditional age students are under 23, and for that we accept women only. And then we have our adult students who are older than 23, where we accept both men and women, but the adult students have to live off campus. Some really exciting stats about Salem. We've got around 100% acceptance to law school and around a 90% acceptance rate to healthcare graduate programs. We have a really small student body. So if you are looking for maybe some more personalized attention from faculty, we might be a place for you. We really think that being small is our strength, and it's one of the things that sets us apart. Our community is really, really supportive and really welcoming. And so again, we have a 10-to-1 student faculty ratio. Our average class size is around like 10 students, 10 to 12 students. So again, you'll really, if you are looking to go to graduate school, especially, you'll have opportunities to get really good recommendations from your professors. So something that we're actually doing is we are shifting to a health leadership focus in 2021. And so what this means is we're going to still have all of our traditional liberal arts majors, but there will be opportunities to kind of focus on applying those liberal arts majors to a healthcare field. And so there will be opportunities for internships and sort of more healthcare focused classes, even if you're an English major, for example. And we do require right now all of our students to complete at least one internship before they graduate. And that helps them be very marketable when they go out and start looking for jobs. As far as applying, we just require a 2.0 minimum GPA. And we do have plenty of scholarships available. For traditional age transfer students, we offer a $12,000 scholarship renewable annually if your GPA is 3.25 or higher. And then for adult students, we have all kinds of different scholarships, and those you can find on our website. But there's too many for me to name in this presentation. It would take my entire speaking time. So if you have any questions, again, my contact information is there. And then our admissions counselor who specializes in working with adult students, Janet Zamora, I've also listed her contact information.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaylin Delap, and I am the Transfer Admissions Counselor in North Carolina A&T. So we have about 1,500 transfer students that are enrolled, and we are also the largest public HBCU, and we were founded in 1891 as a land-grant university. We are also STEM focused, so science, technology, engineering, and math is our specialty. We are also a doctoral research institution, so staff and students are working with the Department of Transportation and NASA to develop air passenger taxis. We also have a transfer student group, so that way transfer students can get involved and get to know each other. As far as admissions requirements, we don't require like any essays or letter of recommendations. You would only need 24 transferable hours and at least a 2.0 GPA from the last school you attended. Also, there are other like special departmental requirements. So for example, criminal justice, they may have a departmental requirement to transfer in of a 2.5. So those can be found on our website. Also, our top majors are mechanical engineering, geomatics, criminal justice, a lot in the STEM field. And we do have some scholarships available as well. And also, transfer students have the opportunity to be a part of the North Carolina A&T Honors Program. So in order to be a part of the Honors Program, you just need a 3.5. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me and I am available. And you can follow us on social media as well.
Everybody, my name is Zach Frohn. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions and the Transfer Counselor here at Greensboro College. We are nestled right in between UNCG and A&T, so we kind of get the small little piece right in between those two bigger schools. So that's kind of our emphasis of being able to have that smaller atmosphere, but then have access to the downtown area and access into those bigger institutions as well. Our total enrollment sits right around 1,000, with our average class size being 12, with a 9-to-1 student-faculty ratio. We have transfer enrollment for both the fall and spring semester. And then typically our fall semester, we bring in that class, 25% of those students are actually transfer students from both 2-year and 4-year institutions. We have 38 undergraduate majors with multiple concentrations within those majors. 29 of them can specifically be minors. All those are housed under 5 schools of studies, and we have about 8 pre-professional programs to kind of get you on going forward into that graduate school experience. Our admissions requirements, we do require 24 credit hours with your official transcripts from all colleges and universities attended. And then we also require a dean's approvals form, which is definitely something I can go over with you if you have questions about that. If you do have under 24 credit hours, we still allow you to apply as a transfer student. We just may require some other materials, being your final high school transcript, and then possibly a standardized test score, an ACT or an SAT score report. Our traditional transfer students are 22 and under, and we do have an adult transfer counselor as well. So those students who are 23 and over, they would work specifically with Becky Quigley, who is our adult admissions counselor. I did put her information there at the bottom. Then we do have merit scholarships available for transfer students as well. Typically, students who are looking into Greensboro College, kind of going along with that Salem route, is that it's a little bit smaller, a little bit easier to kind of build that relationship with your professor and kind of using them moving forward in your life, whether that be going into the job world or be going into your graduate school experience. You have those relationships here at GC with your advisors, with your professors, to be able to kind of help you on into that next step.
Good morning. Thank you all for being with us today. My name is Shanetta Millette, and I'm the dual and transfer coordinator for Winston-Salem State University. I am an alumna as well. As far as like some quick facts for us, we have about 5,169 students as far as enrollment. So we're a medium-sized institution where we can give you that intimate opportunity to network and build relationships with not only your colleagues and your classmates, but also your professors as well. Sometimes they're the ones that are also doing the tutoring for you as well. So that's just some great information to know. As of 2019, our acceptance rate for transfers is a 93.71%. So more than likely, if you apply and you meet the requirements, you will get in. As far as the student to faculty ratio, again, with the smaller enrollment number that we do have, that's 16-to-1. Your classes on average, especially coming in as a transfer, meaning you'll probably be about a sophomore or a junior, you're looking at most 22 students in your class, unless it's nursing and you might have a little more. Our motto at WSSU is enter to learn and depart to serve. We will help you build your brand as an individual, as well as help you professionally develop into what you want to be and where you want to be in life. We are #1 in North Carolina for job placement. So as long as you are networking and advocating for yourself in the Student Success Center, we can open up those opportunities, as well as opening them for yourself on our campus. As far as our admission requirements, being that we are a public and state school, we follow the UNC system requirements of a 2.0 GPA from your last attended institution, 24 transferable credits, and no disciplinary sanctions. So if you are under 21 and you do not meet the 24 transferable credits, such as Greensboro College, we will look at your MAR, which is your minimum admissions requirements as a freshman, and your MCR, which is your minimum course requirements. So keep that in mind. If you are under the 24, you don't have to wait if you meet those requirements. As far as some of the program highlights, we have more than 40 bachelor programs at our institution. Out of those 40, our top 5 are nursing. We get tons of questions about nursing, just so you know that it's not, if you come in wanting to be a nursing student, just know that there is a separate application process that you will have to complete. And also make sure that you complete your prerequisites, which can be seen on our website. As well as social work, business, we were founded on education. So we do have the birth to kindergarten, as well as teaching certifications, and even on in-house daycare so that you can get hands-on opportunities to work in your career. And also exercise science. So we do have a doctoral program for physical therapy. So this would be one of the routes that you can go, and an accelerated program that's attached to our exercise program as well. As far as our 9 master's programs, if you're looking to continue your education after you achieve your bachelor's degree, we have nursing, teaching, and business, and so on. Excuse me. And as well as the 2 professional doctoral programs, we have physical therapy and nursing, as I mentioned before. If you're looking to just incorporate that transfer experience and you're a little apprehensive about that transition, we have Ronald T. Harris, that is our coordinator for our transfer year experience in our Student Success Center. And I've placed his contact information here, as well as transfer and non-traditional honor society. So we have more information that we provide, again, through our Student Success Center website portion on our webpage. And again, my name is Shanetta Millett. I thank you all for being here today, and my information can be found to the left. If you have any more questions, please feel free to contact me, and I'll be more than happy to assist.
Got it. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you guys sharing some of your expertise and some of the information about your different schools. And we left ourselves a pretty generous space for Q&A. So we've got a couple of things that we're going to try to address for the group. So the whole session was built around schools of the Triad. So I'm going to ask my colleagues, and I will give kind of a general start as to why would I choose the Greensboro, Winston, High Point, Burlington area over other parts of the state. Anybody want to jump in to start?
I guess unless Elizabeth, you want to jump in.
Oh no, go for it. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm originally, so I am an alumni of Greensboro College. I'm originally from upstate New York. Coming down into North Carolina was definitely kind of a culture shock for me. But I don't think that I could have picked a better place in North Carolina to be able to access kind of the whole state in itself. You are very centrally located here in North Carolina. I know Kaylin had gone over just kind of the where you can be, 90 minutes to Raleigh, 90 minutes to Charlotte, 3 hours to the beach, 3 hours to the mountains. It's just a very centrally located area. I mean, on top of being able to get into Virginia in under 45 minutes and being access up into Roanoke, into Richmond as well, and then getting over to the Virginia Beach area. So altogether, it is a very centralized location. And I always call it kind of like the Goldilocks city. It's not too big, but it's not too small. It's not as big as Raleigh, not as big as Charlotte, but it's just kind of that perfect size, and including getting into the Winston-Salem area as well. It's not an overwhelming city, but it has enough for you as a student to be able to, once again, do the entertainment type things and then be able to get around the area as well. So the Central Piedmont area is just kind of that perfect centralized location for everything that you can get to.
Thank you, Zach. Anybody else?
Yes, I'll go. Yeah, so like Zach was saying, I'm actually from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I went to school in the Piedmont Triad. So I will say it is a very great area for you to get to places. Also, what I really like about this area, it is a college town. So you will meet lots of different people and connect with other colleges. So that made me feel comfortable to know that there are other people here in my same situation. So I think that's a really great plus. We're a college town here.
Thank you, Kaylin. Shanetta, Elizabeth?
For me personally, being an alumna of Winston-Salem State and also a native born and raised in Winston-Salem, I've always been a concert goer. So if you're looking for the entertainment piece, Charlotte, again, is only about an hour away, hour and a half. So if you're looking to get into, again, the entertainment side, also I love plays. So Durham, going to the Durham Performing Arts, the DPAC Center, that's another amazing opportunity. If you're looking for that entertainment piece in art, I love art as well, with the Art District downtown in Winston-Salem. If that's not something that if art is not something that you look to do as far as like your career choice, but if you're looking just to incorporate that into your hobbies and things to do, we have that in both locations. And again, just being centralized in North Carolina, you're not far from just about anything. I have family in Wilmington, so if you're looking for that beach feel, that's another opportunity for you to do so. And again, just enhancing that college town feel. This is just a few of the institutions at this this panel, so just keep that in mind as well. You never feel like you're alone.
Thank you so much. Elizabeth, you got anything?
Yeah, I'll say, as someone that's not native to the region, I really have loved living here. It's been really, and I've come from a lot bigger places too. So I know you might be like, why do I want to come to this smaller region of North Carolina? But I really love the lack of traffic. But also there's enough stuff to do around here that you're not really bored. And then plus for a college student, I mean, Winston alone has like 5, we have Winston-Salem State and Salem, and we have Wake Forest, and we have the UNC School of the Arts. And then there's a ton more schools in Greensboro, as well as High Point. So it really is a much more vibrant area than you might think. And a lot of that, when we were discussing this panel, a lot of people were saying that, you know, you can't really see our downtowns from the freeway. And so you might not even know that all of this is here. So really encourage you to check us out.
I appreciate that. The one thing I will add to that is there's sometimes the syndrome of going into a bigger school and not so much being swallowed up. I mean, schools, everybody does a really good job of trying to put pieces in place to make sure the students are connected and that they get involved and they can meet with their advisor and have small classes. But when you look at the diversity of the schools that are here, when you talk about majority campuses, HBCUs, research campuses, all being located in these close areas, when you're thinking about the academic experience for schools of our size, coming into these places and really being able to make an impact and being able to be seen right away and to make those connections right away, especially as transfer students, we feel like that's important, that you're not going to, you know, you're going to be bringing in some credit with you. So you're not going to have the full 4 years. You know, some of you may have 3, some of you may have 2, some may have less. So having that opportunity to make those connections into those pieces that are going to get you ready for that next step after graduation is going to be important. So having research opportunities as a transfer student, having the diversity of majors that you can choose from, and then looking from a bigger school like UNCG to some of the smaller schools that are here as well, finding those opportunities where I can go and be a big fish in a relatively sized pond could be something that makes the whole difference for you as far as what goals you may reach for during your college education and afterwards. So thanks to everybody for sharing into that piece. Shanetta, you mentioned a really important point earlier about the nursing program on your campus having a separate application process. So this may be a good time to kind of run through some of the programs on our different campuses that may need an extra step or an extra application. So Shanetta, if you'll start, give us kind of a rundown as far as some of the programs that you know students are going to need to do that extra step in order to participate.
Definitely. So for our campus, nursing is the biggest one, as well as, I believe, that social work program. Again, those are separate application processing. Is for the nursing, we only take students in during that summer session, or we begin our nursing program that summer session. So you should have your applications and all of your materials submitted no later than January the 30th. So keep that in mind as far as keeping up with the prerequisites. I know a lot of students come in prepared or they think that they're prepared and they're missing that one course. So for our nursing program, we have professional nursing, which is one of the courses that is a part of your prereqs. So make sure that you incorporate that course within your plan, because you will have to take that on our campus. So as far as the timeline, you can always contact me to assist you with how you want to make that work best for your benefit, as well as help you and your advisor create that plan of study for you as well. With the social work, I believe there's an amount of volunteer hours that you will need, as well as an application process for them as well. Other than that, all of our programs, if you just put that on your application as what you're interested in, that is a automatic admittance into that program.
Thank you. I will talk to Kaylin and then Zach after that. Kaylin, what programs do students need to prepare to do a separate application for?
So for North Carolina A&T, there are no separate applications for programs. There's just like some additional requirements. So for example, like engineering, we ask that you have over a 3.0 GPA and you complete Calculus 1 before coming. Also, with our nursing program, there is no separate application, but we ask for our applicants to at least complete anatomy or physiology and with a C or higher on their very first attempt. So no separate applications, just a little few extra steps.
That's awesome. All right. Zach, you got any?
We do not have any specific separate applications, but for 3 of our specific programs, there are some extra steps that you need to take. So specifically for our theater program, our music program, and our arts program, theater and music do require on audition a portfolio, recommendations, a couple extra steps from wherever you're coming from, whether that is college or from high school. And then our arts program does require a portfolio specifically of your pieces that you've completed throughout your career. So the performing side for our programs is something that you would need to take that extra step. You can always reach out to me and I can get you in contact with the specific theater music recruiter, or you can go right onto the website. If you go into the academics with theater, music, and art, some of the first things that kind of pop up is that there are the acceptance process into the school and then the auditioning for the specific program itself.
Thank you, sir. Elizabeth, how about you?
So similar to Zach, our music program does require auditions. And so you'll have to submit an application by December 1st for a priority scholarship deadline. And then also, I think the more important distinction for this population is just remembering the distinction between our adult students and our transfer students, because they are 2 different applications. So if you are older than 23, fill out the adult student application. And then if you are under 23, fill out the traditional transfer application. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
I appreciate that. I'm going to come back around to the adult admission thing in a minute for everybody, so be thinking about that. For UNC Greensboro, we have quite a few programs that do require a separate application process. Not many of them are going to require you to do something prior to being admitted to the university. So I want to be clear on that. So nursing has a separate application process. Unless you are finishing the associate's degree in nursing. So if you are completing that at a 2-year campus, you have a direct path into the School of Nursing for UNCG. So congrats to you in that regard. Social work as well has a separate application process and a couple of courses that you need. The music, theater, art programs that were mentioned by my colleagues, we also have a separate either audition process or a portfolio review in the case of the art program. And then also the interior architecture program wants to review a portfolio of some of your previous work before admission into their programs. So it seems like the general rule of thumb here is that if you are going into a specialized program, you may want to contact folks like us prior to submitting your application. So we might guide you towards either a class or 2 that you might take in coming in, or if there's a specialized process, we often can either connect you with that person who knows about it or can give you all the details to make sure that you are not going to end up spinning your wheels or wasting time. There'll be things you can do by prepping ahead of time, apply to the university, and then go straight into the program of your choice. All right. So there was the mention of adults. So Elizabeth, I'm gonna let you kick the conversation off for us. What is different about the adult process for your campus than for the traditional transfer student?
So on our campus, we actually have an entire office dedicated just to adult admissions. It's called the Fleer Center. And so they really take a hands-on approach. They are really focused on degree completion. So often for people who are coming back into school after maybe taking a break, but they really work closely with all of the adult students to make sure to figure out how many hours you're going to need to take, how long it's going to take you to graduate. And they work to be really, really flexible. And I think that's something that kind of sets us apart. Because we accept all different qualifications. You don't have to have an associate's degree to come to us as an adult. So yeah, it's just very personalized. I think that's the big takeaway.
That's awesome to hear. Let me see, Zach, you're next on my screen. Anything different for the adult student who's coming back to school? What should they know?
Not crazily different from the traditional application. We do have a specific counselor, and I mentioned Becky Quigley, who would be working. She does mostly with any of our adult students who are looking to finish their degrees online. We do have a couple of undergraduate degrees online for those adult students specifically, or our graduate programs, or even our teacher licensure. So in the graduate programs we do have would be most of our masters in education, which sometimes couples with the teacher licensure. So there is a 2-year program that you do your master's and your teacher licensure at the same time. So specifically, nothing too crazy different from the traditional application. Obviously, just kind of doing the adult version, and then you have a specific counselor that you would be working with.
Got it. I'm going to take one moment of privilege. We've got about 10 minutes to go. So if you, for any additional questions, please throw those into the chat for us. And then I'm going to be moving us back to full screen in a second. You've got all of our contact information here on the screen. So if you're planning on reaching out to any of us individually, this is the time to collect our info so that we can hear from you. All right. I'm going to go over to Kaylin. Anything different for our adults that they need to know about applying to A&T?
So kind of like what Zach said, nothing too crazy or different. We treat our adult students just like the regular transfer students. So if there's an adult student that is applying, the transfer admissions counselors will reach out. So nothing different.
Shanetta, anything on for folks coming to Winston?
That's the exact same. There's no separate application. Non-traditional students are treated just the same. You're a transfer student, so apply as a transfer, and you either get myself or my colleague as far as your counselor and coordinator.
That's awesome. Same for us at UNCG. For students who meet traditional standards, we're not going to hold you up if you're 24, 34, 44. If you did well in your previous college experience, regardless of how old it may be, we're going to move you forward. We do have the opportunity to meet with you one-on-one if we have questions or concerns about anything that might be in your background. So that gives you that opportunity to talk with us and explain, why things may have dipped for you 3 years ago, why your grades may have gone crazy 5 years ago, whether it was something personal, whether it was something academic or a tragedy in your life, whatever it may have been that prevented you from being successful then, we can get some explanation as to what happened. But part of our focus is going to be, well, what are you doing now? So what's different about your situation now than what it was before? And we can use that more recent information towards making a decision and hopefully making an offer of admission. So that sounds really, really great. All right, so we're going to stop the screen share. So now we can see everybody. We still got a few more minutes to go and a couple more questions that are now coming in. Hang on. So one of the questions we have here is, what is one tip that you would offer to your transfer/adult student that you wish all students would know as a part of the application process? That one thing, that one nugget that you would want to share with everybody if you had your couple of minutes on the evening news. Who wants to jump in?
I guess I'll just kind of throw it out there. Just try not to hide anything, even if, maybe you had done something wrong in previous, experience or previous school. It's going to come out eventually. I believe a lot of us do require some sort of student code of conduct form from your former institution. So it's going to be found out. So if you are forward with it, that's something a little different for us. If you tell us straight up that, hey, I made a mistake, I did this, that's something we're going to take into consideration. Okay, well, at least they've seen their error of way and they're able to kind of turn it to a different light. So just be straightforward. You're trying to do something to benefit you going to another institution. Don't try to squander that by hiding something that you may or may not think that is, detrimental to you.
I saw nodding heads all around from my colleagues. So that sounds like really, really good advice. So thank you, sir. Who else? Who's got some stuff? Shanetta?
Yes, that actually brought up something in my mind. Take care of all of your holds at your other institutions if you have one, so that your transcripts can be released. For our institution, we will require all transcripts from any attended or previously attended schools. So make sure that you take care of your holds so that you can get those transcripts released to us as soon as possible so that we can complete your application process.
I also saw nodding heads again. So that's a really good one. Thank you so much. Caitlin, looks like you're ready to go.
Yes. So one tip of advice is like we are your liaisons. If you have any questions, comments, please ask. Do not wait to the last minute to ask, like, do I need this document? Please submit everything on time and please ask questions. We are here for you. Ask as many questions as possible. You won't bother me.
A double tip: start early and ask questions. Really, really good. All right, let's see. Elizabeth, that's me and you. You got, I hope you don't steal mine. Caitlin took one of mine, but we'll see how it goes.
All of these are so good, and I'm just like, I can't think of any more. But I guess just be yourself. Like, we want to know who you are and why you want to come to our college. And, you know, we're looking for people who are a good fit. And all of these schools are very different. So I think, you know, try to show who you are through your application process. Fine.
That's cool. That's really good. The one I will offer is to do your research. We are happy to help and we want to help. And if you come to us saying, I don't know anything, I need to know about you, I need to know about majors, I need to know about careers, I need everything you got, and we will do our absolute best. But if you've done at least even the baseline research of knowing what you're interested in, what schools you're thinking about, the size of school that you may want to be in, the type of programs that you may want to be in, you will find that for these folks here on the screen and myself included, if we're not the right fit, we will redirect you to the school that is, you know, because the worst thing that can happen is to me to walk across campus one day and to bump into you and to say, oh, hey, I remember you. How's it going? And for you to give me that sour face of, I hate it here. This is not what you sold me. I am not having a good time. I don't want that to happen. I want to know that you're having a great experience with us. And if that's not the case, I want you to go and find that school that is the right fit for you. So the more information you can give us, the more research you've done up front, the more information you can share with us, the better advice we can offer, even if it's not going to be to our campus. And I feel pretty confident and bold in saying that my colleagues will feel the same way. All right, got a couple more minutes to go. I'm checking the chat for some more questions here. All right, I think I've got one more here. So we've talked about adults, we've talked about separate application processes. Let's quickly recap the actual application process. So I will kind of hit the highlights and you guys add in any specific pieces for your campus. So first is going to be, you know, after you've done all your research and you've determined where you're going to apply, is the actual application itself. Most of us will have our own applications built on our websites that you can usually find by going through the admissions website. I'm sure there are probably a couple of us that also use the Transfer Common app as well. So we'll just do that show of hands if you can use the Transfer Common app. So A&T, Salem, very good, and UNCG. So you've got to start that actual part. And that's just going to be your bio demo information, who you are, where you're from, where you've gone to school, basic pieces like that. You got an application fee, and that's going to vary from campus to campus. And I will also hedge my bets to say that many of us will have either programs or forms or something that students could complete to receive an application fee waiver if you meet that specific qualification. See some nodding heads around. So it seems like probably just reach out to that campus and ask them, hey, can I get a fee waiver for my application? And they will give you details on how to move forward. So pay the fee or get a fee waiver and you should be able to move forward from there. And then, as was already mentioned, we need any and every college transcript. So 2-year, 4-year, in-state, out-of-state, public, private, doesn't matter. Well, we need a transcript from those places, not so much to prove that you're going to be admissible automatically. As we've already mentioned, we have some processes to get adult students admitted, but part of it is having a clean and clear record from that campus. So even if the grades aren't the best, if you burned a building down and that school won't release your transcript because you never paid restitution for that, that's kind of an issue. So make sure to take care of things on those campuses and get that transcript, and your ability to get that transcript will then show that you're good to go socially, academically, and in the disciplinary areas. And we'll deal with the academic stuff later as a part of the application process. All right, so if you've done all of that, we've got your app, we've got your fee, we've got your transcripts. In most cases, it looks like my colleagues are nodding that if we have all that, we have everything we need to make a decision. So use that information to your benefit. Get through the process early. The more time we have to work with you, the better off the whole process should be.
All right, thank you everyone. So it looks like we are just out of time. So I just want to say thank you again to all of our presenters for joining us today, sharing your insight. It was incredibly valuable information, so we are so thankful for you. For today's closing remarks, when you close this window, students, there will be a link with a very quick 4-question survey. We would greatly appreciate any feedback that you have about our virtual exploration program. Also, this is just one of the many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions as well as institution-specific information sessions at CACRAO.org. And in about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as other sessions recordings at the CACRAO website at CACRAO.org. Once again, thank you everyone for attending today. Thank you for your insight, panelists, and I hope everyone has a great day.